Today is the day that we finally get to compare the 2024 Ranger Raptor versus the 2024 F150 Raptor. As you can tell, we both have these styled very similarly. These have the Rocktrix RT111. They're negative 12 offset on the stock 35s. These are also the RT111s with a positive 12 offset on the stock 33s. We both have the silicone Tokes tow hook covers. They're about 30 bucks a piece, just aesthetics, right? We swapped out her black and white Raptor decal to match this a little closer. I didn't do the lower decal. I don't know how I feel about this, but I wasn't quite ready to take it off. I'm a big fan of orange. So as you can tell, the back of the truck sits very, very close. I have a 3/4 inch spacer in the back. So honestly, stock, the Ranger sits almost the exact same height. The front on this has a 1.5 inch Fouts collar. This one also has a 1.5 inch Fouts collar. Both of these trucks will clear these wheels and tires without any sort of leveling kit. I actually was going to run my 37s on this. Still have them, I still can. I just actually have kind of started to like the 35s a little bit more as far as miles per gallon and just acceleration, ride quality, things like that. My 37s are an MT, so they make a ton of noise. But I want to go over what I like more about the Ranger, what I like more about the F-150. To start off, the one thing that I'm not a huge fan of is they didn't do an amber drive light on the Ranger. I think that was kind of a staple for the Raptor community. I know the Bronco has it as well. This also doesn't have the 3 lights here. I did order a set from, I think, Amazon for like 50 bucks. I haven't installed them yet. I'm gonna hook them up to the auxiliary switches inside the cab. One thing that I do like more on this truck, obviously it's a lot easier to park. It's much easier to drive, for my wife. But I think they did a much better job on the interior. These have some very thick bolstered seats, very in your face, Raptor lettering, the stitching, everything looks great. It still has the orange, centering stripe on the steering wheel. The animations are great. Around all your AC vents is orange. They just did a nice job at, letting you're in something other than just an XLT or, just a standard Ranger. So I really like the way they did that. The F-150 isn't quite as bold and in your face. So big fan of that. A couple things that are missing. You cannot get ventilated seats in this. You also can't get the heads-up display, and you cannot get a sunroof. These aren't deal breakers, obviously, but I would have liked to have seen that. I know some of the other trucks in the midsize segment, you can get at least a couple of those things, but this is actually one of the cheaper ones when you consider that this has a 3-liter twin-turbo V6, 405 horse, 430 torque. When you compare it to like a ZR2 Bison that just has a turbo 4-cylinder, same torque but a lot less horsepower. I've driven a ZR2 non-Bison and I wasn't really impressed with the power, but this is a lot of truck for $58K. I know that sounds crazy to say that for a midsize pickup, but the new Tacoma is well over 60, and again, it's a 4-cylinder, it's a hybrid, but again, really like how this is set up. This has the controls for suspension, exhaust, steering, all on the steering wheel. So it has a lot of those cool features that you see in its big brother, and again, it's under 60K, so we're happy with it. Should hold its value. I've seen that this is the, I think, 2nd highest marked up vehicle in America right now. Some places in California marking them up $30,000. But coming over to the F-150, as I mentioned, the interior isn't quite as bold and in your face. It does say Raptor here. I would have liked to seen that highlighted maybe in some orange. Same thing, it says Raptor here, but it's kind of subtle. And then the centering stripe changed for 24. The animations on this truck, I think, are better. The actual startup sequence, if you sit in it, it looks really cool. They did a really great job of that. The center infotainment system is horizontal in here. It's really preference. I like the horizontal a little bit better. I think it's better use of the space, but the vertical screen setup in the Ranger has kind of a few different options on it. You can draw on it with your finger, just silly little things, but it's neat. It's got maybe a little bit more technology built into it. This one obviously has a panoramic sunroof. This does have heated, cooled seats and steering wheel. The other truck has heated steering wheel as well. But my wife and I are gonna hop in this and we're gonna see which one's quicker. This one's a 3.5 twin turbo, 450 horse, 510 torque. This truck weighs, I think, 5,900 pounds roughly, and that Ranger actually is about 5,300 pounds, so they're not as far off as you think. This one just gives up, 80 foot-pounds of torque and about 45 horsepower. So we'll see. I'm thinking I know which one is going to be faster out of these two. We have 410 gears in the F150 on 35s. We have 430 gears on 33s on the Ranger. So on paper, they should be very close, but we'll line up in Mexico. We're going to do a quick trip down there, definitely not Western New York, and see which one prevails.